So we have card number 1, card number 2. So if you're feeling more drawn to one, or if you feel a pull to both, but maybe one of them is stronger than the other, looks like we have a very even split in the chat. Number 1, number 2. The first thing I'm seeing is a slingshot. So it's being loaded up and then pulled back. So it's the tension building. I'm seeing a delayed release. It's almost like we have pulled it back and we're holding it. And it's like our arms start shaking because we're like, okay, can I release it yet? Can I release it yet? So we have the tension built. We have the suspension, the anticipation, the waiting period, but it's more about the suspension. That feels like the more aligned word. And then I am seeing it shooting out. And so then we have the arc that is moving and extending, but then it's as if it shoots through clouds and we can't see where it's landing. Like, did we hit our target? Are we anywhere close to it? How far is it going? Has it even hit the ground yet? Like, we can't see the outcome right now. When are each of those checkpoints happening? We're drawing back anytime within the next 24 hours, and then the suspension piece starts. That's the part that is the most variable, depending on the person, depending on the task or initiative. I'm getting the emphasis on initiative, very Capricorn energy, Mars and Capricorn, which if you have been following the astrology, I did drop a video about that last week. So we're looking to start or initiate something, but then we're in a bit of the pause, holding pattern. So that is variable depending on each person. And then the release inherently has to be a little bit variable, but it does feel like there's a cutoff of like the latest that it would happen. So for you, maybe you're suspending and it's just a day and a half, but for somebody else, they might be in that suspension for 3 to 4 days. So the thing to keep in mind is the worst case scenario, which is the 3 to 4 days. So if we're talking about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the worst case scenario is that the release happens on Saturday. Worst case, I'll say. And then we have us kind of watching it trailing, and that's really just getting us into Sunday. And so we are left at the end of this week with that question mark. I'm just getting the fact that the release portion, so that may happen at any given point for you. You could be watching for several days. You could be watching for 1 day. But the release itself, it seems like whatever this thing is that you are initiating, it is really a casting it out into the universe. Like, I don't control it anymore. The only thing I could control is loading the slingshot, aiming the slingshot, releasing the slingshot. After that, it is completely out of my hands. And that is really what we are grappling with during or by the end of the week, depending on how long that release period is for you. So you could be feeling really meta or just very, very reflective. Now let's see what our card is. So we have, oh, funny, New Moon in Aries, go for it. So I was just talking about Mars, which just rule Aries, being in Capricorn. So this idea of, all right, we're wanting to take action on something, we are releasing. So this is almost like, this is coming across to me as if it's encouraging us not to be hesitating for so long. Because again, I kept saying, like, worst case scenario, the release doesn't happen until Saturday. That part was up to you. when you release it. So if you're having hesitation, you can decide to stop hesitating and go for it. Because again, that was one of the pieces that was in your power. New moon in Aries. For context, for anybody not familiar, new moons are about beginnings. Again, we're initiating something. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's a cardinal sign. It's a fire sign. Cardinals are leaders. Fires are action oriented. So in addition to new moon, it's also about starting something new and taking bold action and maybe pioneering or being the first to do it. Also, the fact that it may feel impulsive to you to just go for it, to release that slingshot. But that is the energy of right now. And just trusting that when you have that little gut feeling or that inner voice of just telling you, like, just let go, to go for it and to just do it, see what happens, and trust that you released it, it's going somewhere. And whether it's meant to hit the target or not is not actually up to you. Yeah, I had a short reading as today is the first anniversary of my husband's passing. The message I got was cut the cords and then you'll be free. Wow. Okay, Bev. I do see how I think it's very interesting because obviously a slingshot, part of it is the cords, part of it is the release. So that's exactly what you're describing. So it seems like you are slotting in at the minimum for this first reading. And you had written number 1. So that does check out. And thank you for being here, because obviously that type of milestone is incredibly challenging. So I hope that this is a nice supportive container and just connecting with other people, even if we're not all in the same room, we're in different areas of the country and the world. I don't know why I'm getting so many childlike nostalgic things, but the second that I closed my eyes for the second reading, I was getting hopscotch. So I would associate like a little slingshot as also a children's toy or activity or something. So we had hopscotch. I'm seeing the board being drawn. So we have the chalk looks like it's blue in this situation. So we have the blue chalk. It's creating the different outlines of the squares. And then we're going back with yellow and we're putting the numbers in. And then it's like somebody comes over and they have this big tub, is what I'll call it, bucket of water. And it's like they stumble and they accidentally spill it. And then all of it comes out and then it doesn't go away. It feels like the emphasis here is like it doesn't erase the chalk, but it disrupts it a little bit. It dislodges some of it a little bit. And it's, feels frustrating or feels a little bothersome, but then I'm getting like not crying over spilled milk, not crying over runny chalk. We're creating our map, our guide, our structure, and then something comes in, washes it out a little bit, disrupts it. We're getting encouraged. It's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. And we can pivot. So I'm seeing literally, it's like we turn, we rotate, and we're like, I'll just redraw it over here instead where it's not wet. And that feels like that's one option. So some people just like, all right, that's annoying, but I can still kind of see it. I know what the vision is of what I want it to look like. I'll just draw it somewhere else. So that is coming in as option number 1 for the response. It feels like there's 3 options here. Okay, option 1, option 2, option 3. I'm just putting a little placeholders in my notes. Okay, so that's option 1 is pivot. We'll just redraw it, whatever. And then option 2 is we get a towel and we start blending it and we turn it into something else. So we're blending the blue and the yellow together and we're turning it into a shape or a backdrop or something that has those tones in it that is turning a little bit green. I just keep getting, it's like, but we're turning it into art. We're repurposing it. Option 3 is we hop on it anyway. Like, we don't care that it doesn't look perfect because we can still kind of see it. And also, again, we have the vision in our mind. We know what the pattern was. And it's like, we just don't care. We're like, well, I wanted to hop on this and I'm just going to hop on it, even if I might be on certain lines or slightly out of it and it's not totally perfect. It feels like the third option is about really embracing. It seems like we are on a sliding scale here of perfection. So for the first one, we're like, well, that's a bummer. I'm just going to redraw a nice, neat one over here. And the second one is, okay, well, I'm going to make it messy, but it'll still be usable. And then the third one is, whatever, I literally don't care so much. I'm just going to do this anyway. And so we're leaning into the fact that it's not working, it's not functional, and we're still able to, in all outcomes, we're able to achieve whatever it is that we're looking to achieve. The second one, we're just we change the goal. Whereas for the first and the last one, our goal is still that we want to hop across. This is great. This is great. And I love this with the first card. I love, this is wonderful. All right, I will I'll stop the tease. We have full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. Things that I love about this. 1, we're still in our fire sign energy like we were for the first reading. So it's about action. And what was this if not all about action? We started with drawing something, then we had options of routes that we could take. I'll do this, or I'll do that, or I'll do this other thing. Very fire sign oriented. Sagittarius, very playful. So the fact that all of this was about like an activity, the fact that I kept saying the word vision over and over and over again, Sagittarius is Jupiter ruled. So it's very much about seeing the big picture, seeing what is beyond. Plus the fact that this is a visual of a picture. It's something that we drew. And especially for option number 3, where it's not about seeing it with our physical eye. We're just holding the image, the bigger picture in our mind as we continue to do the hopscotch even without it. So yeah, lots of layers. I really like this. But we had, unlike the first reading, this is the full moon energy, which is the culmination. And this did feel like across all of our different options that we did the thing. So we're like, okay, I set out to draw this hopscotch board. I'm going to go hop on it. Option 1, we just redraw it. Great, then we can go do it. Option number 2, we turn it into something else. We are transforming it, but then we can still produce something that we need, we desire, we appreciate, or just for the fun of creation. And then for the third option, we're still doing the thing. We're like, whatever, I'm not wasting any time. I'm just going to hop across and keep things going. Shayla, that's so funny. Dropped my bowl of cereal this morning and literally had spilled milk. It was so random because I don't know how I dropped it. Wow. Okay, I love that. And you had said number 2. Okay, perfect. Oh, thank you all for the love for Bev in the chat. All right. So let me just see if there were any other final thoughts on the second reading, and then I will do the recap, the analysis, 444 for anybody in my time zone. All right, so what else do we have? No, that should be enough. Isn't that enough? Haven't we gone through enough? That's like a bit of the sentiment. Like that was so many parts, so many options, circumstances of what we're deciding to do, and naturally how we're responding to it. So it's like, okay, we kind of, there's other things that are going on outside of whatever this is, for us, and that will certainly be enough to deal with. That's how it's coming across. Reading number 1, we had our slingshot, and we are drawing it back. We are holding it in suspension, in a waiting period, in a holding period that is of our own choosing and control. And then we release. Whatever we have shot out of our slingshot goes through some clouds, so we can no longer see it. We can't hear. We don't know if it's landed. We don't know if it's anywhere near our target, let alone hit it. And the timeline that came through is that Monday to Tuesday is when we are drawing back the slingshot. And the release time can happen anytime after that until Saturday, the absolute latest. And that it is the lesson of the week to release. When you release, how quickly you release, how eagerly you release is completely within your control and up to you. So it is your choice to stay in that tension and suspension versus just letting go of whatever it is and allowing that to exist outside of you and outside of your control. And the card that we had complemented this very well, and it is the new moon in Aries. Go for it. So this is the reminder that it is not impulsive, the low vibrational side of Aries, to be letting go. It's part of the lesson. It's really important to take bold action. And in this case, the action is releasing and letting go and trusting in the process and trusting that things will transpire as they are meant to and not being attached to the outcome. So that was reading number 1. Reading number 2, we had us drawing a hopscotch board. So it came through as being in blue, and then we were adding our numbers in yellow, and then somebody comes over and they're spilling a bunch of water, and so it disrupts the board. And we have 3 different options of how we want to respond. And option number 1 is that we just pivot. We go, well, that's a bummer. I'll just redraw it again over here. Option number 2, we take out a towel, we choose to smudge what is in there and create some sort of art that is now green out of that. And then option number 3 is we hop anyway. We don't care if it's slightly disrupted. We don't care if some of the lines are now gone because we can hold the vision of it in our mind's eye, and we're just going to hop anyway. So whatever this is applying to in your life, obviously it will vary from person to person, what this thing is, what this hopscotch board, this vision is representing for you. And then it is up to you to decide which course of action you want to take. It may be such that you're the type of person who normally goes for option 2 or goes for option 1 or 3 or etc. And if you want to push yourself to choose a different option, again, everybody's got free will. So one note I wanted to mention before flipping our card over here is I was seeing a pattern. So with 1 and 3 in particular, we ended up continuing with that vision, but in 2 different ways. So we still hopped across the hopscotch board, but we had to start over for option number 1. And then for option number 3, we just went anyway. So this felt like it was a spectrum of perfectionism. So we were the most perfectionists in option number 1. And then option number 2, we went rogue and we kind of created a mess. We were repurposing. And then for option number 3, we just barreled through anyway because we don't care. We know what it is that we want. We know what we're going for. And it's okay if we don't step in exactly the right spot because we're moving in the right direction. And with that, we had our card, which was a really perfect match. The full moon in Sagittarius, see the full picture. Sagittarius is Jupiter ruled, very much thinking about our vision, the big picture being what is that vision? What is the action that you're taking? What is the outcome? The hopscotch board and you moving across it. And then the fact that we can gain some wisdom from whatever it is that we are deciding to choose. And the other things just astrologically, is we have a fire sign, so that's about action. And then mutable sign, so there's some fluidity to it. Okay, I'll pivot, I'll adjust. Some obvious commonalities between these two readings. One, both readings had a component of us taking action in some way. Second to that, both readings, we had a choice of what action we wanted to take. So in reading number one, our choice was, when do we want to release? When are we choosing to let go? And option number two, we had a little buffet. We had a few different options of how we could respond to the circumstances. So that then brings us to a difference. The first one is, okay, we're just putting something out there. For the second, we are putting something out there, but then we're getting disrupted in some way, and then we are following up. So it has three parts to that second reading. Things also, as relates to the cards that we had, both of these, which I mentioned while I was talking about them, these are both fire signs. So we have the cardinal fire sign Aries, the mutable fire sign Sagittarius. So our little missing friend in the trio is Leo, for anyone curious. So we have two fire signs. We also have new moon, which is beginning energy. So it's the thing that we're launching in reading number one. And reading number two, full moon, culmination. So we are achieving something, because by the end of the week, we are doing something. We've either hopped across the board or we've made something else. So we have that culmination. The other thing that I wanted to point out that I got really excited about is the visual for reading number one was a slingshot, and it was releasing something. And for anyone who is familiar with Sagittarius, the symbol for it, which we can see on this card, and I'll show a little up close, is the archer. And obviously a bow and arrow is different, but very, very similar to a slingshot. So I love that as the intersection between the two of them, that yes, the first reading wasn't in Sagittarius, because it really was capturing the Aries energy, but that we had a link between the two of them, as both of them are about launching and doing something and casting it out. But our approach, the circumstances, how we are engaging with the variables is what's different. The amount of choices are more abundant here, makes sense with Sagittarius. Jupiter ruled, it's not limited. We're thinking a little bit more outside the box, specifically with option number two, but really with all of them. It's like, okay, well, how do I respond? I could do this, I could do that, the other thing. Dreaming up those ideas, that's very Sagittarian. And then for this one, we just have the one action. It's very simple. I'm going to do this. It's just about releasing it. That's also very Aries. Short and sweet, to the point, just do it. In this situation, just go for it. All right, so anything else? Oh, I will mention, which is kind of interesting, both of these do have mountains on them. So this one's a little bit more in a desert, and this is a little more snow-cap situation, but we have the landscape of obstacles, challenges, things that are bigger than us, hence why seeing the bigger picture is also about perspective. So that brings us back to don't cry over runny chalk, because does it really matter? Is it the end of the world if that gets run over? Because we have other things that we could do. For the first reading, we were shooting something, small object with our little slingshot, and it went into the clouds. It went into something way bigger than us, something that is out of our hands that we can't control. And in the second reading, we had somebody coming in, something out of our control, quote unquote, messing things up, disrupting, causing some sort of disruption that was also out of our control too. So that is definitely another theme, that it's part of, not necessarily that you have to view it as part of a plan, that everything 100% happens for a reason, but the lesson here is happening for a reason. Lesson for the first one is we have to release. We have to know when it's time to release, and we have to do it. Two-part lesson, if you will, for reading number one. And the second one is that we're learning to adapt, and we're thinking about what are our options, what our approach is, or if we want to challenge ourselves and pick something a little different than we normally pick. But it's about how we respond. So how we choose to respond. Yeah, I really like these. I think there's a very interesting story going on here. Could someone do both of these? Yes. This came in all caps. Yes, you can definitely do both of these. Is it likely that people will do both of these? Is that why this is so insistent? For people that do, oh, okay, it feels like it's like a good third of people. So if we have approximately a third of people just reading number one, just the thing that they're focusing on, launching, releasing, letting go of, and then we have reading number two, which is the thing that they are working on, that they are launching, that gets disrupted. They're learning how to respond, how to pivot, how to be adaptive, how to still hold on to their vision or to change. And then we have the last third of people that do some sort of combination of the both. So it's the combination of the both because it's the same initiative. No. If it was the same initiative, then the plot lines wouldn't jive because in the first one, we're shooting it and then it's out of our hands. We don't get to pivot. We don't get to respond. We just release. So this is where, as an example, if you're someone at the intersection, this is one area of life and you're learning this lesson during the week. Maybe you release early and it's like, okay, great. Now you're working on something else. And this other thing comes up and that helps you with pivoting because you're already practicing releasing. And you go, okay, oh, all right, version of this is happening again. What can I do? And then now you can layer on like level one of just releasing, just releasing. And then the next layer on top of it is like, okay, we're letting it go, as in not letting it like ruin our lives or ruin our day, ruin our week. And then we are making it a very intentional choice. So this is in two different areas of life, so you could use them as they build on top of each other. That would suggest that there's two different things that happen this week. If you're someone at the middle, there's two different things that happen this week that like are out of your hands, but again, you're choosing, or that quote unquote get messed up in some capacity. And then it's also your choosing to course correct, adjust. So that's another option. Maybe one of these is something you're explicitly just doing or writing or publishing or some sort of a behavioral shift. And then the other one could be a conversation that needs to be had, something that needs to be said, something that needs to be aired out.